Okay, we're talking about the boring content marketing and doing something else instead in order to get attention and keep the attention so that we can grow our businesses profitably in the coming year and beyond. So, I know what you may be thinking. This is kind of boring. This is getting off to a boring start. I'm sorry, but I'm also going to be driving safely. But really, content marketing has been boring. A lot of content that essentially looks like advertisements, a lot of content that is riddling off facts and not really talking about much. A lot of content is just bland. And instead of trying to mimic what everybody else is doing, let's do something different. Let's have some content that's not boring. So, what can we do? We can get creative with our messaging. We can get creative with the words that we say. We can get creative with how we say it. And so, I want to share some different strategies that you can implement right now in order to decrease the boringness of your content and increase the attention and the interest of your content. So the first thing is coming up with a brand specific or personal brand specific language. And what this is essentially just a short list. I'm not talking about a long list of words, but a short list of sayings, of words, of definitions that is that's congruent with your brand. So, like, for instance, something that I happened on when I was going through my marketing, like when I write my content, when I am thinking about what I'm going to say, is I talk about having a meaningful marketing message. Like, people don't care about the education part if there's no meaning behind it and how that message becomes relevant to them in their lives. So, at the end of my lives, I've been saying, make sure you remember to share a meaningful marketing message with someone you can help. Not just anybody, like someone you can actually help. And to me, it also reminds me of how important what I do is, because I'm reminding everybody that if you're going to do marketing, to make sure that you help somebody, because we want to positively impact people's lives. And then also it reminds me that I am sharing something meaningful with my audience as well. So the first thing, for those of you just joining, thank you so much. I'm going to pick my kids up. They spend tonight at their grandma's, my mom's house. So I'm going to go pick them up. And so the first thing you can do is come up with your own language. So when in my lives, I say, make sure you go out and share a meaningful marketing message with someone you can help. That's something I have never heard anybody else say it. I have never heard or seen it anywhere else but come out of my thoughts in my mind. So that's part of my brand language. That's part of my content marketing. For those that resonate with that message, they're going to try to do it, but they're going to come back to learn how they can create and share that marketing message, that meaningful marketing message. And so I can't, what do you call it here? I'm trying to, let's see, can I get a, Finley, what's up? Now I can't read a whole bunch of messages, guys, because I'm driving. What do you call it? But yeah, let's continue here. So we want to come up with our own language. What can that mean? So I know a lot of people in the past decade have used alliteration. And what alliteration is like fabulous, five, frenzy, fantastic, ferocious, fierce, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the continuance of using the same words with the same letters at the beginning, so that it sounds similar. It's almost like rhyming. So there is rhyming, there's alliteration, and that's cool sometimes, but it's kind of boring these days, to be honest. what do you call it? An unsalted banana. You're kind of salty this morning, huh? That's you know, we're gonna let you live with that. That's really deep right there. But we can create a message that's fun, and we can create a message that actually promotes our brand. So when someone leaves one of my videos, I want them to not only think about content marketing, because that's one of the things that I talk about. I want them to think about becoming a better person and growing, because that's what we talk about here, and building their business. So my sign off, make sure you remember to share a meaningful marketing message with someone you can help. It touches all those points, right? And so and this takes some time. You can't just create this a lot of times off the top of your head. It takes creating in order to create a creative message. That was pretty fly right there. It takes creating to create a creative message. It really does. I have written at this point that tens of thousands of words. I know for sure. I have looked at my word counts. I have said tens of thousands of words on my videos, whether I've posted them or not. And I'm starting to share thousands of words as I go live every day. The goal is to get up to how much I share with how much I'm actually creating out as much as possible. That's the whole point of the content marketing. So I want you to create your brand language. I want you to create some phrases. You could name your community something, but I haven't come up with one that doesn't sound, super corny. And then sometimes it is funny if you create a corny community name, right? So one of my other parts of my brand message is what I'm calling my community, not the people, but I'm calling the community it's my M2 marketing community. And that just might be it. Like, hey, if you're interested in joining my M2 marketing community, it's magnetic and meaningful marketing, then come and join it, right? Come and join it. And actually, I would love for you to join my M2 marketing community. The link is in the description. I have two things for you. You can either get the content marketing profit plan, which is in the description below. It's the first link, and that is going to take you to how to use content marketing in order to get attention, keep attention, and not only impact people, but also make an income from the impact that you're creating and giving out to the world. If you're going to give impact, you do deserve to get paid for it as well. So I have those two things. Both of them, if you join the content marketing, if you get the content marketing profit plan, you automatically come into the M2 marketing community. But if you say, nope, I don't want your free knowledge, I don't want to learn more about your expertise, then you can just join the M2 and you'll still get my expertise. You just won't get that automatic email with the content marketing profit plan. So we're talking about not having boring content marketing. There's a lot of boring content marketing out there. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create our own brand language. And it's an ever evolving thing. I'm not done with my brand language just because I have two things within it. I have a couple more. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but I have a couple more. Wild Evolution says, Creole, hello. Hello, Riza. Hello, Wild Evolution. Yes, I have 201 subs. I just hit that yesterday morning. The goal was to hit 200 before the end of the year, and I got it yesterday. I was very excited. I will be doing a separate video just to say thank you to everybody that has joined the community, and I appreciate it. We are growing, having fun, and learning on this journey together. And I can't wait to hear you all's milestones as well. And so let's keep going on. I saw one of my friends say, keep your eyes on the road. I'm so sorry. I will not look at you guys anymore. It's so hard. Okay. but I'm gonna do it because gotta be safe. All right, so the next thing about not having boring content marketing is going to be structuring your content in a way that is engaging. And it does start with your words. I know that it seems like it should start with all the editing and what you can, but there's nothing to edit if you don't have anything to say. Otherwise, it's just a whole bunch of pictures, and pictures, they can give you an assumption of what's trying to be said, but without words, you really don't know if you're actually understanding the message the way that the author was intending for you to receive it. So I want you to structure your content in a way that is interesting. So let's talk about the structure here. And for those interested, for those actually in my community, if you haven't joined the M2 marketing community or grabbed one of my resources that I offer you all, you'll miss out on the first fruits of the content marketing planner that I'm creating. Now, a lot of people create them on Notion and all of that, but I'm old school and I like to write things down. And so it's the structure that I use in order to create my content, even when I'm doing live. The first part is starting with a statement, question, or desire that my audience wants. That's in the form of a title, and that's in the form of the hook. So that is the first thing that's going to attract your audience. So that's what you should always be starting with. And I used to start with my content first and say, oh, what do I want to talk about? I have these points to talk about. And then come back and try to fit a title around it. But what I realized is that those videos didn't do as well. But when I had the title in mind first, it actually did better. And so I want you to think about what is, out of the content that you're thinking about creating, what does your audience want most out of what you're about to give? What do they want most? And so I know that my audience is interested in using content marketing to grow their business, and I know that they don't want their content to be boring. So I started with that. And it doesn't have to take long because I actually just thought of that title this morning, which is the title of this live, is Stop Boring Content Marketing and Do This Instead. And now we're talking about what you can do instead of having boring content marketing. So, okay, let's talk about the structure of content marketing that's not boring. We're going to start with an interesting and relevant statement, question, or desire that your audience wants. Why? Because it's relevant to them, and people pay attention to stuff that's relevant to them. If I hear one of you, if we were talking and I heard you start talking about kid stuff, especially how to do some activities with toddlers, then my ears are going to prop up. If you're talking about what actually keeps the attention of boys, toddler boys, then I'm really going to listen. And if you start talking about how to get your identical twin boys to stop arguing and hitting each other, then I'm going to look at you and say, hey, what are you talking about here? I want in. Because I want my identical twin boy. To be honest, they don't really fight that much, but sometimes, when they're so emphatic and they just, stop it, baby. So the older twin, by only 6 minutes, calls the younger twin baby, and the younger twin calls the older twin his own name. So if his name was George, he calls his twin brother George, even though his name is George. His name is not George. And I don't hide my kids' names. I just thought it was funny to use a different name. If you care, then go watch my other videos and find out what my kids' names are, because you can find it. But the point is creating the hook, creating the title that your audience is interested in. That's what's going to draw the attention. Now, what's going to keep the attention is you're gonna give them something that they want right at the beginning. So you're gonna get right into it. You're gonna give them something that they want. Either they want to be understood, or they want the tip or the strategy right away. So you can do this in one of two ways. You can touch point on some more relevant points. I gave you examples like with kids. Are you a parent that has identical twins that are always fighting and bickering over toys? Even worse, you have boys, and so there's a certain amount of aggression behind it sometimes, like, you know, little bit of boy attitude. Then keep listening, because in this video I'm going to be sharing X, Y, and Z on how to, you know, increase the, you know, identical twin connection where they can get along better and still have their own identity, and all of this, all the different things that parents actually want. And for anybody that actually cares about that, then they're going to listen. And so even though you haven't given tips, you've given them reasons why they should continue listening. So that's how I start my lives. That's how I start my videos. I'm getting better at it as I create more. And I want you to do the same, because if people sign off, if people swipe off, if they close out the app, if they move on to a different video before they hear the reason why they should stay, you lose out on the watch time. And it doesn't matter how valuable the rest of your content was if they don't keep listening and if they don't keep watching. And I have some other videos where I'm like, man, I could probably do a better intro and get more people to receive the value that I've already given. So I'm thinking about that as a strategy, to redo some of my intros on some of my videos, and then go ahead and then repost them, or post some of the ones that were re-record some of the intros that I have for some of my other videos that I haven't shared yet, so that I can have a better watch time, better engagement. Because the more value that people get from me, the more they'll want to stay. And that's the whole point with content marketing. So we want to give value to people that makes them want to stay. That's why you can't lead with selling your product. You have to lead with selling your value. If you can't sell people on just listening to you, you're not going to get people to buy from you. And that's what we want. And so, okay, we've talked about the title, and we've talked about and basically this is a meaningful marketing message, right? The title is relevant to your audience, the hook is relevant to the audience, and your intro statement is relevant to the audience. That is your magnetic and meaningful marketing message, because you're attracting them with your title, but then you're keeping them because it's meaningful. Boom, right? Okay, I love when it all makes sense and just comes together, and I love this stuff. So, okay, so now we're like, okay, the points. You're going to list out your points. You probably already had it in mind. Boom, 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 all your points for your main points. But before you say, okay, we're ready, there's a couple other things that's missing before you actually start recording your content. So we need two things. We need three things. We need a cliffhanger somewhere after your first point. And I'm going to tell you what these are and how to do them. But you're just hear me out. And I hope you guys have your papers and your pens, or if not, your papers and your pens. If not, go ahead and watch the replay when I put it up. And so you're going to have your 3 points, but then you need a cliffhanger, you need a bonus, and you need a call to action. And so your call to action is going to be at the end. We'll get into that later. What's the cliffhanger? The cliffhanger is something that's going to re-engage your audience. And a lot of people use re-engagement strategies that are visual and audio, like sounds. You might watch videos that have sound effects, or, you know, little pings, or they'll start and stop music. Or they'll just have some, you know, like a lightning, just something to kind of like zap your mind and re-engage you, like zzz. Okay, that's cool. You got my attention. You zapped me. Fine. But I feel like cliffhangers are more effective because it reinforces the reason for your audience to stay. I'm just sorry. I see this smoke coming out this person's car. I know they did not pass smog. He has his window open because he's getting poisoned by all the smog. I would not be driving behind him if I were all those cars behind him. He's like, he has his window open and he's covering his mouth and his nose with his with his sweater, and I'm just like, bro, you know, it's not worth dying, poisoning yourself with a car. Go get it fixed, right? Go do something to get it fixed. Anyway, okay. So the cliffhanger, the call to action, which is at the end, and the bonus. The cliffhanger is going to come at before or after tip number 1. And the cliffhanger is something that's going to be interesting about one of your other points to keep them watching. Like, notice a mini cliffhanger was, I have a CT, you're going to want a CTA, but that's at the end. We'll get into that later. And what that is opening a mental loop. You're remembering, like, hey, don't forget the thing that you told me you're going to tell me about. So we want that in the content, and we want it early enough so that people have something to remember that you're going to tell them about something. And we can't help wanting to finish the sentence. We can't help wanting to put a period at the end of a statement. So if somebody opens up a statement and says, you know what the craziest thing about, and you're just waiting for them to finish, like, come on, the craziest thing about what? And that's exactly what you're doing. And you're kind of giving them an anticipation and increasing the desire for them to listen to you, because they're anticipating what you're going to finish the sentence with. And so, okay, the cliffhanger is going to be before the first point, in the middle of the first point, or at the end of the first point. And like I said, to me, the earlier the better, because you're giving someone that thing to wait for. So what's the bonus? The bonus is, let's say you have 4 tips, but studies have actually shown that people remember 3 tips better, and they pay attention more with 3 tips better. It goes 3, 4, 5. 5 is like the cap. Now, this is not a end all beat all, because sometimes you can use like exaggerative marketing whereas you're using like actual numbers. So, you know, maybe 71 tips to help you do this, or 25 things that I learned about XYZ. I know one of my favorite channels that I've learned from for years is Think Media, and they had a video. It was like 50 features, or like 50 secret features that nobody knows about the what is it, DJI Pocket 3. And they created this video. It's like 50 features no one knows about DJI Pocket 3, and or Mini Pocket 3. And it's like, okay, like, no way. So it's kind of like exaggerative, and it gets people's attention. No, everybody's not going to remember all of those 50. They're probably only going to remember about 3, 4, or 5 that really stuck out to them, or that was relevant to them. But my point is, if you have an extra one that's going to kind of mess up the flow, instead of calling it 4 tips, you can call it a bonus. And say, hey, I've got a bonus that's really going to help you do 1, 2, and 3. Or I've got a bonus that's going to 10x, or you know, increase your ability to blah blah. But you got to wait till the end in order for me to give it to you. And so that's the bonus, and it opens up another loop. It opens up another anticipation for someone to want to wait to get the answer. Now, it's not 100%. Everybody's not gonna stay for the answer. Some people are gonna be busy. Some people just hopped on to hear what you have to say for a minute, and it might not matter. But for those that were kind of interested, and you know, there's a million other different things that they can get distracted with, this can kind of re-engage them and say, okay, I'm gonna hang out for a little bit longer so I can get this answer. That's the bonus. So now we're coming to close my first loop, which is the call to action. That's the CTA. And a lot of people in their videos with, okay, that's it for now. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. And you're losing people's attention. You're losing watch time at the end. And if you decided to say anything else important at the end, they've missed it. Because most people don't even stay to the end of the videos. it's statistically shown. Most people do not watch all the way to the end of the video. So if you have a call to action before your sign off, that's going to help to keep the attention. So you've already gotten the attention and people are listening to you. Your audience is listening to you. Yay for you. And now you're giving them something to do. You're giving them an assignment. And most of us like to fulfill an assignment that you've given us. And especially when it's relevant to one of our goals, when it's relevant to something that we want to accomplish. If you say, hey, I want to help you on your, so for me, and you'll hear me talk about this a lot, I'll use skincare and I'll use hair care and fitness as examples, because those are things that I have like personal connections to all of it. I get acne sometimes still as an adult. I haven't been taking care of my hair the greatest, and that's been a journey through like motherhood and like not having as much time to do that. And I actually used to be a certified personal trainer. So those are some of like my knowledge points that I like to touch on. And so in this instance, if you tell me, okay, I have something for you, I have a resource for you that's going to help you like decrease your acne by 50% every single time you're coming up to your menstrual cycle. And boys, don't get bashful. Like women, if they're getting acne, sometimes it tends to be around their menstrual cycle, which it happens to me every single month. And so if you say that and you're telling me that you have something for me to do, like all you have to do is click right here to get this resource. Or hey, if you want to lose 5 pounds in the next 2 weeks, that actually trims your waist and you feel more energetic, then make sure you watch this video right here, because I'm giving you some more points. So let's see here. I have Elizabeth, hi. Eric, hello from Rio de Janeiro. I hope I said that correctly. But yes, that is the content. That is the way that I do my content. I write in my cliffhangers, I write in my bonus points, and I write in my call to actions. And for every single piece of content marketing that you do should have a call to action, an instruction that you give your audience for them to take an action. Because keeping the attention is giving them the next step on where to go. What's the next step that they need to do in order to get to their goal? You have something, because you have a message to share. You know that they need to take certain steps. They need to do something. They need to watch this. They need to download this. They need to try this, and give them the instruction. And it's better if the instruction that you give them is centered around your content, your value, your essentially gifts, your community service to them to help them reach their goal. And so as a recap, in order for us to stop the boring content marketing, we're going to, what are we going to do? As a recap, we're going to not forget what we're going to say. I think I'm excited because I'm pulling up to my mom's and I'm about to go get my babies. And I missed them last night, even though I got amazing sleep from not being woken up in the middle of the night. But we're going to focus on grabbing attention with titles and hooks and intros. So we're going to do statements, questions, or something that they desire at the beginning so that we get the attention. And then we're going to structure our content in a way that's actually going to attract the attention and keep the attention, using the content strategy that I just gave you of the title, the hook, the intro statement that's relevant to your audience, the cliffhanger, the bonus, the call to action. These are all things that I use in my content. And so what's the bonus for you? So I talked about a bonus earlier. I do have a bonus for you. If you're hanging out here and you want my content marketing profit plan where you can actually learn how you the foundation, and I gave you a lot of game. I gave you a lot of game that I actually give my paid clients today. So if you want more on how you can actually use content marketing in order to grow your business, you want to impact people's lives positively, and you want to grow your income, then go ahead and hit the link in the description and grab your content marketing profit plan for your journey, okay? Use that. It's right in your email. You don't even have to download anything. I send it directly to your email so that you can get started right away and you don't have to then get sent to Google Drive and then get sent to another website. And no, just read the email. Take your notes and read the email. Okay? If you have any questions, email me back, and make sure you share a meaningful marketing message with someone you can help. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you all so much for the 201 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you that wants to be here and learn on the journey of using content marketing to grow your profitable business. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that. And I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.